Let's learn a shtickle Toldos Shimshon on Perekei Avos, Perekei Aleph, Mishnah Hey. Yosi ben Yochanan ish Yerushalayim oimer. Yosi ben Yochanan ish Yerushalayim says, Hi beischa pasuach lervacha. Your home should be open to the public, to the outside. Ve'yu aniyim b'nei beisecha. And poor people should be the people in your house. V'altar b'sicha me'isha. And don't spend too much time speaking with the Isha. Be'ishtoi amru. This is even your own wife. You shouldn't spend too much time schmoozing. Kal v'choyme be'eshes chaveroi. Kal v'choyme, your friend's wife. Mikan amru chachomim. From here the chachomim told us, Kol zman she'odom mar b'sicha me'isha. As long as a person spends too much time speaking with the Isha, goyrim ro la'atzmoi. He brings bad upon himself, uboitel medivrei Torah, and it causes him to be mevatel from learning. V'soifa yorish Gehenim, and it'll end up that he'll go to Gehenim. The Toldos Shimshon explains what's the hemshech, the connection between the beginning of the Mishnah that your home should be open to the outside, to the end of the Mishnah that the Mishnah says you shouldn't spend too much time schmoozing and speaking with the Isha. And he explains that the Hi beischa pasuach lervacha, when the Mishnah says your home should be open, is referring to a Gemara in Baba Basra, Dav Zayin. The Gemara says that there was Ahu Chosid, Ahu Chasida, there was this tzaddik, the Haverogel the Mishtoi Eliyahu Badei. Eliyahu Hanavi used to come frequently to talk to him. One day Eliyahu Hanavi stopped coming to him. And the Gemara says because he built a base shar outside of his courtyard, he built a booth for a guard to sit at night. They would build outside of the house. There was a courtyard, and in front of the courtyard there was a fence, and they built a booth by the entrance of the fence for a guard to sit at night. And once he built that, then Eliyahu Hanavi stopped coming to him. Why is that? Because now when a poor person comes to collect in the middle of the day, so when he used to stand outside the courtyard and call out and scream to the person in the house that he should come out to help him. But now that there's a base shar there, so his voice gets stopped. He won't be able to scream through the base shar, through the courtyard into the house. So this base shar caused, this booth for the guard to sit outside, caused that poor people won't be able to come into the house. And the Gemara says, but if there's no door to the base shar, then it's fine. If it's open, that only the poor person could go into the little booth and call out from in there, that's not a problem, because then the base shar is not blocking his voice. And even if there is a door, the Gemara says, if there's a handle with a key opening from the outside, so again, only the poor person could open that door, step into the base shar, to the booth where the guard sits at night, and call out to the balabayis to come out. But this chosid had a door that couldn't be open from the outside, therefore Eliyahu Hanavi stopped coming to him. So our Mishnah says, Hi beischa pasuach lervacha. Make sure that your house is open, the base shar outside the courtyard is open to the outside, that if a oni comes, if a poor person comes, he'll be able to call out that you should come out to give him money. The best would be if it would be completely open without a door. But even if you're going to have a door, but make sure that there's a handle outside, just like your own bnei bayis, your own family has a way of entering your house. Even if you would have a door, they have a way of entering. V'hiyu aniyim bnei beisecha. Poor people should be just like the bnei beisecha, just like people that live in your house, just like your family. Even when there is a door, they have a key and they have a way of opening the door. So that base shar that you're putting outside of your courtyard, the best would be if it would be open completely. There shouldn't be any door there. This way, only the poor person could step into the base shar and call out for you to come out. And even if you're going to have a door, but at least there should be an opening, a handle and a key on the outside, that he could open it up and step in. Poor people should be like the inhabitants of your house, that they could come in themselves. And then the Mishnah continues and says, but what would be if this poor person that comes outside of your house is a Isha? Now we know that the main part of tzedakah is not the giving the tzedakah, giving the money. The main part of tzedakah is the mefayis b'dvorim. The Gemara in Baba Basra says that if someone gives tzedakah money, he gets 6 brachas. But mefayis b'dvorim, if you make the poor person feel better, and you mechazik him, and you say that it's going to be fine, and you talk to his heart, and you make him feel better about his situation, then the Gemara says you get 11 brachas. So the greater part of tzedakah is actually the talking to him more than the giving him the tzedakah. So now, what if a Isha comes to the house? You have your courtyard open that poor people could come and ask for money. So a Isha comes, but now we know the main part of tzedakah is the being mefayis b'dvarim, the talking to the poor person, making them feel better. Over here the Mishnah tells us about tar b'sicha me'isha. If the poor person that came is a Isha, then don't spend too much time in being mefayiser, even though that's the main part of tzedakah. And someone might think to himself that I have a l'shem shemayim, I want to do a mitzvah of tzedakah, and the main part of tzedakah is the talking to the poor person, making them feel better, talking to their heart, and telling them it's going to be better. So then if it's a Isha, so even though there's a Yetzer Hara when a person talks to Isha, but a person might tell himself that the mitzvah of tzedakah is going to save me from the Yetzer Hara. Just like we find tzedakah tatzal mimovet, tzedakah saves a person from death, so it'll save him from a Yetzer Hara also. And that our Mishnah says, no, al tar b'sicha me'isha. Don't spend too much time talking to that Isha that came collecting for money. And if you'll tell me that the mitzvah will take away the Aveira, the mitzvah of tzedakah will save you, that you won't do Aveira, so the Mishnah continues and says, Be'ishta yomru, even with your own wife, you shouldn't spend too much time talking. And over there's no Aveira. So you see that Kal v'chomer, when there's a chance of Aveira with someone else's wife, for sure you shouldn't spend too much time speaking. And don't say that the mitzvah is going to save you. Because be'ishta yomru, even by your own wife, where there's no room for Aveira, we tell you that you shouldn't speak too much with your own wife. Kal v'chomer be'eshes chaveira, where there's a place that it's a mokum for Aveira, don't say that the mitzvah will save you from Aveira. Now, over here the Mishnah continues and says, we learn from here a big chiddush. Mikan omru chachomim. From here the chachomim taught us a great chiddush. Because by the Chachamim telling us that don't spend too much time talking to this Isha, so basically what the Chachamim are telling us are that these 11 brachas that a person gets when he talks to a poor person, you shouldn't take the chance. You're going to lose that. You're going to lose those 11 brachas over here. We don't allow you to spend too much time being mefayeser. So the Chachamim saw from this halacha a big chiddush. Mikan omru chachamim, that the bad that's going to come out of talking to the Isha is going to outweigh the 11 brachas. Is mikan omru chachamim, kol zman she'odam marbe sicha me'isha goyim ro la'atzmai. If you're going to spend too much time talking to a Isha, it's going to bring so much bad onto you that it's going to wipe out those 11 brachas. And that's mikan omru. We see a big chiddush. Because by talking to a poor person, you're getting 11 brachas. And if the Chachamim are saying that we shouldn't do that, we should forego those 11 brachas, that means that the talking to the Isha must be so bad that it could wipe out those 11 brachas. It's mikan omru. From here the Chachamim saw a big chiddush. That calls man she'odam mar b'sicha me'isha. As long as a person is spending too much time speaking with the Isha, goyrim ro la'atzma, it'll bring bad upon himself so much that it'll wipe out the 11 brachas, and therefore the Chachamim said it's not worth spending too much time being mefayis this poor person. That's how the Toldos Shimshon explains this Mishnah. The connection between the beginning of the Mishnah of Yehi Beischa Pasuach L'Rvocha, that your home should be open, which is referring to the Aniyim having access to your house, to Altar B'Sicha Me'isha, that even though the main part of tzedakah is being mefayis the poor person, making them feel better, but when it comes to a Isha that's the poor person, then you should give the money, you should say a few short words, but you should not be mar B'Sicha. Don't spend too much time talking to her. In the schus of the Zera Shimshon, may we all have bracha and atzlocha b'chol ha'inyonim.